Welcome to Southern California. I'm Jess Starwood, and my friend Stu Pickell and I are going to be introducing you to edible Amanita mushrooms that we have here. The species we'll be looking for today are the blusher, the springtime Amanita, and the vernicocorra. These mycorrhizal species are usually found predominantly in groves of coast live oak, just like this. Here is a prime location with lots of thick oak duff, which holds in moisture that create a suitable habitat. Let's take a look and see what we can find. Right here we can already see a white but rosy pink cap with warts. This is a blusher, or Amanita novinupta. This edible species has a bulbous knob-like base. It also has warts on the cap that are typically concentrated in the center and can be easily brushed off. Characteristically, it also bruises this rosy pink color when handled or damaged. It looks like Stu found another one. Just on the outer edge of this meadow, I found another Amanita. This is the springtime Amanita, or Amanita velosa, although around here we really just call it a velosa. It is recognized by the distinctive peach color of its cap, which has a striated margin. The velosa has a cottony white universal veil remnant on the cap, which usually remains in one central patch and peels off pretty easily. The stipe has a shaggy chevron texture, especially at the top. We've had a lot of rain this year in Southern California. Some would even say record-breaking. This has been helpful to try out some culinary experiments with mushrooms that we don't usually see too often, or in large quantities to play around with in the kitchen. However, it is still a challenging hunt in an area that is often very affected by drought. Hopefully, we can find enough for a meal today. Oh, Stu found a great example of a velosa. Here, he's going to tell us a little bit more about identification.
Well, it's the most delicious mushroom in the world. It's got these striated margins, this little white cap on top that peels off nice and easy, the shaggy stipe, and then this kind of funnel-shaped, cone-shaped vulva, the sac that peels away nice and easy, and it has no skirt.
The velosa are definitely the predominant species in this area. We've been finding so many today. We're in an area just outside of Los Angeles, but you know, the competition out here is pretty tough, so I won't go into any details about our spot. But we've been going here for years, and it's always been pretty fruitful. Yep, another great specimen right here. See how easy that vulva pulls off? We aren't the only ones that like to eat amanitas. Since it's been warm the last few days, the bugs and slugs have been munching away before we've even had a chance to get to this one. It's looking a little dry over here, but Rochelle found one, and she's trying to pry it from the ground, from this dry dirt, but with help of Stu's knife, looks like will be the tool to do the trick. Yeah, a little dry, you can see it, the cap has even split there. And Clara! And one last one. Yep, that'll do. As we were headed back to the cars, this shrub on the side of the trail caught Stu's eye. It is a bit different than the other ones that we have seen today. It has a nearly white cap and a much more robust stipe than the velosa. This is the Amanita vernicocorra, or the springcocorra. This spring fruiting species is similar to Amanita calyptoderma, which fruits in the fall, sharing a similar stature and a striate cap margin, but has a pale, yellow-green cap that differs from the bronze-brown of the fall species. Amanita vernicocorra has a persistent partial veil or skirt and the universal veil tissue that makes up the flared saccate vulva, and patch on the cap is very thick and cottony. So we've made it back to the kitchen with some really dirty mushrooms. I've put Stu to work with cleaning the mushrooms while I start preparing other things for our lunch. He is meticulously cleaning the dirt that easily gets stuck to the soft veil remnants, but usually just scraping them off entirely. Debris is often caught between the tightly spaced gills as well, so he's making sure to get them as cleaned up as possible, since, well, we didn't really do a very good job cleaning them in the field like we should have. So while Stu is busy with that, I decided to take a walk with Mike, and we picked some flowers and some from the garden as well, and decided to decorate our table for today because, you know, it's spring. I've prepared the table with some of my favorite forage spring flowers like elderflower, California redbud, sourgrass, black sage, wild radish, and roses from my garden. We also have some fixings for our velosa tacos, such as salsa, wild burr chervil creme fraiche, pickled onions, nettle tortillas, and chips. Now that the mushrooms are clean, we're ready to get cooking.
So we have this Amanita velosa. Many say it is the best, most delicious mushroom in the world.
Oh, I don't know about that. Let's put it to the test.
We'll find out. So I'm gonna start cutting these up. We got some tacos planned today. Coming to you from Los Angeles, so we figured tacos are what our city does best. So we'll make some tacos today. So we have our mushrooms all chopped up. Nice and big chunks. We want to have lots of flavor in each bite, so larger pieces. And Jess is putting them in the pan and dry sauteing them.
We don't want to overcrowd it too much, so we want to maybe let these cook down and add the next one too. Here I am dry sauteing the velosa, which means I am putting them directly into a hot pan without any butter or oil. This will allow them to fully release their water, therefore concentrating the flavor. Wow. Yep. While I am cooking the velosa, Stu is going to cook up the vernicocorra. That way we can taste them side by side. Well, now that the velosa have cooked down quite a bit and all the water has evaporated from the pan, I am going to add a little bit of butter and get them all crisped up. We decided to try the caps and the stems separately in our taste test here. So now I'm going to be cooking up the stems, and since I'm using the same pan from before, I'm going to deglaze the pan just a little bit to get all of those tasty bits that have cooked down into the pan, and that's going to infuse into the mushrooms here. kind of good though.
Which one?
Mine?
No, that's mine.
No, it's mine. All right.
Which one first?
Let's try the cucora first.
Let's do it. It's got a nice texture.
Crunchy.
Pretty firm, a little crunchy.
Slightly fishy.
It's got that fish taste to it.
Not my favorite.
I like it. It's not my favorite. Definitely fishy.
All right, then velosa top or stem?
Top.
All right. Better. Sweet?
Nutty.
Not so fishy? Not really?
Nearly as fishy.
Not much at all.
It's got a little sweetness. I want more.
Much better than the other one.
Okay.
It's actually really good.
It's really good. It's got that sweetness.
Sweet
It's
and
just
nutty,
as firm. Not as crunchy, but still firm. On the stems.
Mmm. Mmm.
Mmm.
All right, you have me sold as a new velosa fan.
It's the best mushroom in the world.
I don't know about that, but it's a pretty good one.
It's up there.
Yeah. Well, that concludes our Southern California Amanita taste test for today. Velosa was clearly the winner, just as Stu said it would be. But I still don't know if it would be considered the best tasting mushroom in the world. So with that, it is now time for Velosa tacos and enjoy some time with my friends on this delightful spring afternoon.
That's completely cracking.
How is it, Stu?
Mmm.
Very good.
Delicious. Mister. No, let's start over. Thought I was bad at it. No, these ones look better.